Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome back to the channel, always with Younes Charfaoui. In this video, you are going to see the last side effect in the Compose API, which is Snapshot Flow. Let's get started. So the main idea of this side effect is to create a flow from a state. Why we want to do that? Because sometimes, let's say if the state is changing too much and we need to do some cascading operation based on that thing. For example, we are building kind of a reactive UI. So whenever something changes over from there, we are going to create flow. And of course, we are going to use the operations of the flow, which we have in the Kotlin flow, of course. For that, we can use this snapshot flow. Okay, so let's pretend we have the following example. So first, let's have a list state for remembering a lazy list state. And then we are going to create that lazy column with the items from 1 to 100, for example. And here I'm having just items from 1 to 100 with the number of them, okay? And you can use a font size here of, for example, 22 SP. To run the application, it's pretty simple application you can use in order to demonstrate this example. So here's the app, it's pretty simple application, okay? Now what we want to do. So here, for example, you can create flow from value changing of the state. For example, here we have the state for the list state. And let's say that we have this value, the first visible item is called offset, right? Or the first visible item index. This will be changing every time, but I want to use that. Here, this will be a state. So here, this will be changing as long as I'm changing that. If I want to create a flow from that, a flow from this value, I can use the snapshot flow, okay? So here's the thing, I can use snapshot flow like that. And here I need to provide from where I'm getting my values, all right? And then what I can do, for example, I can do whatever I want with flow. For example, I can collect immediately, but as you may know, the collect is a suspendable function. It means I need to put this into a launched effect, for example, like this. And for that purpose, I can do the following. So here, this is a little bit tricky. We don't use unit, we use the list state. Why is that? Because we want to collect whenever, or to keep collecting, whenever the list state completely changes. So here, let me just collect it and pretend, yeah, I'm just going to assert it here. Another thing to mention, if this produces the same exact value twice, it won't emit it to the subsequent things. And beautiful things here, you can use all the flow operations, you know, in order to use the flow. That's the purpose of using that snapshot flow. For example, you can map things, you can filter out things. For example, I want the values only if it is bigger than 0, for example. And I want this to change because here, if it is, for example, if it is 2, 3, 4, it will keep emitting values. So this will emit only true multiple times. So it makes sense to use distinct until changed here, okay? But by default, this will be distinct until change, okay? It won't emit successive 2 values which are the same. So if I run this, so here, let's have the logcat here. So if I start scrolling, as you can see, I'm getting the value. Sorry, here, yeah, I'm just filtering. I thought I'm sending a Boolean events. So this doesn't make sense here, of course. So here, as you can see, I'm changing and the value are immediately sent. For example, I can map things. I can do all the operation that the flow provide. Okay, I can combine, count, debounce, first, null, all the things that the normal flow. This is the main important stuff. You can use the flow's powerful operation to do whatever we want, from converting a state into a flow that we can react on. Okay, here in the documentation, this is pretty simple documentation. We're kind of using the same example here. So we are using this snapshot flow to convert a state into a code flow. That's the most important stuff. So here they are saying the flow emits a new value to its collector if the new value is not equal to the previous one. That's what I told you. It's distinct until change. That's it. If I want to send an event, it is just Boolean events, for example, I can do the map if it is bigger than 0. So this will mean the following. Here it means you are changing the input from int to Boolean, right? And here the true will be emitted multiple times. So it makes say, let me just try to write this right now. So here, if I start scrolling, the true will be emitted multiple times. That's why we use distinct until change. So as I told you, the distinct until change, the default behavior of the snapshot flow will be here, not after the first operation, okay? Now this will be emitted only once. So you can use this value to update state, for example, to update a UI from another place. That will be very fair use. Let me just use the lookup here. As you can see, I'm scrolling, I'm having the first value only once or twice, okay? So that's basically it. As I told you, you can use this value, for example, once you have a value here, you can use, for example, to show a UI or hide it or just do anything about it. That's the beautiful thing about Snapshot Flow. You can, like, the main important use case is to convert a state into a flow and then using the flow operation to conclude some other state or to react to this changes. That's basically it for this video and for the whole series about side effect in Jetpack Compose. Let me know in the comment below your thoughts on this series. If you want other series like that, exploring Jetpack Compose stuff, let me know in the comments also. Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as always and see you in the next videos. Salam alaikum.